We then opened the trunk and began to load up our luggage into the back. Valerie, did you pack your cane? Asked my daddy. Yes, it is in my suitcase, answered Mommy. I'll always have mine, said Dr. Morcassius. Not for core use, said my daddy. Fine, said Dr. Morcassius. It was about 2 more minutes, and then all the luggage was loaded, and after that it was about 5 more minutes, and then my core seat was loaded. Here was the seating arrangement. Marcus drivers, Sam shotgun, George behind Sam, me and Mom in the back, said Daddy. Remember to make us proud, Marcus, because you passed the driver's test by the skin of your teeth, said Mommy. And you wanted it badly for something you almost never used, reminded Daddy. I got it, said Dr. Morcassius. Daddy then placed me in my core seat, and then he tossed Dr. Morcassius the keys, who I will still be calling Dr. Morcassius in private. Dr. Morcassius then sat down and started the engine. You know how to get to I-90 East from here? I asked. Yeah, it was super easy when we get out of the garage, answered Sam. Dr. Morcassius then began to back out the car. Mom and Dad, can you tell if someone is coming? Dr. Morcassius asked. No one is coming, said Mommy. The car was then facing the left, and we began to exit the garage. Remind me, we were on the 4th floor, Dr. Morcassius asked. Yes, said Daddy. Dr. Morcassius got us out of the garage fine and onto the streets of downtown Chicago. We were heading south on Wells Street because Wells is a one-way street. I was just forced to turn right. Wells is a one-way street, said Dr. Morcassius. Relax, you're doing fine. Wells is a one-way street heading south. Make a right in Congress Parkway, and then we were pretty much at I-90. And remember, that is joined with I-94 in downtown Chicago, reminded Sam. We were riding under the train tracks with the L trains being elevated in the loop. It was fun looking up at the train tracks, seeing them go by as I was looking out the window, but eventually they had to end, and we had to continue south down Wells Street. It was about 3 more minutes after the train tracks that we made a right turn on the Congress Parkway, and that was pretty much the on-ramp to I-90 East, joined with I-94 East, aka the Dan Ryan Expressway. Okay, looks like I'm going to need a lot of help here, said Dr. Morcassius. The lanes in the center are express lanes with no exits. We're right now in the exit lanes. Are there particular lanes I need to be in at particular times? Dr. Morcassius asked. Keep right when you see the first sign for the Chicago Skyway, said Sam. I then began looking out the window behind me to watch the Chicago skyline fade away. What are you looking at? Asked Mommy. The skyline fade away. You will get that view coming in on the way back up, said Mommy. And maybe at night too, added Daddy. Okay, I said. I then sat back in my seat properly, but then I began to look back once again because I had a thought. Why can't I look back right now? I asked. Because Daddy and I are going to cuddle and make out the entire ride, and I don't want you to see it, said Mommy. You know I can see you through my mirror, said Dr. Morcassius. It's not your mirror, it is the course mirror. Now focus on driving and not us, said Mommy. Everyone remained quiet until Sam interrupted. Look, said Sam, pointing at something outside the window. It is the sign that says Chicago Skyway to I-90 East is in 2 miles, Dr. Morcassius asked. Yes, answered Sam. You know what I find weird? Dr. Morcassius asked. What? Sam answered. I find it weird that is labeled as I-90 itself because it is I-90. Dr. Morcassius said. Me too, said Sam. Did you once tell me that I-90 is the longest interstate in America? I asked, trying to join the conversation. Yes, said Sam. Where does it run to and from again? Dr. Morcassius asked. See, out to Boston, with us heading toward Boston right now, I answered. You're right. You're right, George. We're also heading to a port here in Michigan right now because we are still joined with I-94, and that is where it has its east end with its west end being in Billings, Montana. Props to you for remembering that from what I have told you over the years about roads, said Sam. How much longer to the Skyway, I asked. I'm getting on to Ranford now, said Dr. Cassius. I-90 East then separated from I-94 East, and we were on the Chicago Skyway. Well, once the Skyway ends, we are in Indiana. What state is Cincinnati and we were stopping for the night, I asked. Ohio, Sam answered. What state comes after Indiana? Ohio, and when we enter, we are pretty close to Cincinnati, said Sam. We're only gonna do about 4.5 hours of driving today, said Dr. Cassius. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow? I asked. 7.5 tomorrow, followed by 6.5 the day after tomorrow, Sam answered. So if we're close to Cincinnati when we enter Ohio, what is the state order, I asked? Down, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. Up, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Georgia, then Tennessee again, Kentucky, Indiana, and Illinois, said Sam. Okay, I said. We then pulled up to a toll plaza. How much, Mommy yelled from the back. $3.50 and they only take cash, said Sam. No problem, here you go, said Mommy, giving Sam a $5 bill. You know, I am the one driving, Dr. Cassius asked. Stop being petty, said Mom. Dr. Cassius then shut his mouth. I don't like how slow this traffic is moving, I said. 7 more people in front of us, said Dr. Cassius. How long will it take, I asked. 5 minutes tops, said Dr. Cassius. After this, how much longer until we are in Indiana? 3 minutes, said Sam. Dr. Cassius and Sam's time, I must say, was pretty accurate, because after about 8 minutes or so, I saw a sign that said, to I-90, Indiana Toll Road, to I-80, I-65, and I-94. And then about 30 seconds later, there was a sign that said, Welcome to Indiana. Well, everyone, we are now officially out of Chicago, said Sam. Can you do me a favor, Dr. Cassius asked. Yes, Sam answered. Can you call Hannah to let her know we got out of Chicago, okay? Dr. Cassius asked. Once we get on I-65 south so that we can figure out the toll situation, answered Sam. Isn't that it for tolls until we get on the turnpike in Florida, Dr. Cassius asked. Yes, however, on the way back, we have a toll we have to pay as we enter Indiana from Kentucky on I-65 north in Louisville, said Sam. I then raised my hand. What is it, George? And just a reminder that this is not school, Sam asked. 3 questions. 1, are we in Gary? 2, how long to Fanimation? And 3, how long until Cincinnati where we are stopping for the night? 1, yes. 1, yes. 2, about 2.5 hours. 3, about 4 hours. I said, Sam, 4.5 already, but we burnt some of that time, but we burnt about half hour of that already, answered Sam. Yeah. And now that we are out of Chicago, please leave us alone, said Mommy. What about when we get to Indianapolis, or letting you know when we need to stop to use the restroom, Dr. Cassius asked. When it is necessary to bother us, you may, and the other way around, said my dad. I then watched Dr. Cassius open a root beer, which proved to me we have a long ride down to Orlando, and I saw him put a root beer candy cigarette in his mouth too. To solve the riddles, and to help us find the return.